Greetings and welcome, beloved audience. We are here to take you away into the amazing world of Changeling the Lost. And this show is going to be part of the Onyx Path Jumpstart month. And I will be your storyteller who totally knows what he's going to say in the next second. And to cover the awkward silence between endless monologues of ancient fairy tales, I brought you some wonderful, excellent, breathtaking players who I would love to introduce themselves. And I'd like to start with Ever, because I'm very, very excited to spend the next hours with you. So please tell us who you are and who you're going to play in the next hour.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ever, and my pronouns are they, them. Today, I shall be playing Chester, whose pronouns are he, him, a changeling of the Spring Court.
Thank you very much. Then we have got ourselves a wonderful David. David, who are you and who are you going to play?
Yeah, hi, I'm David from Darker Days Radio or The Drunken Storyteller. I will be playing Ash, I've forgotten what she is now. She's part of the Winter Court. I think she's also a wisecracking vizier. I'm not quite sure how good my wisecracking is going to be, but we'll give it a go.
I am sure we will work something out. Thank you. Then we've got us a Key. Hi, Key. Please tell everybody about you.
Yes, I am Key-sama. You can find me on Vorpal Tales, and today I will be playing the rambunctious Red, an autumn courtier.
Thank you. And for my personal comfort, I brought you a Wes.
Hi there. My name is Wes Franks. Pronouns are he, him. I am the founder and creative director of Carrying Comfort Studios, a Twitch stream around here that you can see around. And I am, for this morning / evening, I will be playing the bellwether beast himself, Leander, a chimera.
Thank you very much. So I am merely a bodiless and faceless voice in the void. And I do have a name, which is Tomer. You can find me from time to time on this very channel as I am running some other Changeling games here. And so I will do for the next 3 to, we will see how long hours. Just as a short information, I will start out with a short narration to tell you what the main ideas of Changeling the Lost are and who our characters are, how they ended up in the place in which they are right now. And then we will get to know them a little bit better. And then we will start with the game, to which I added an additional scene at the beginning. And then we will go very close to as it is written. So I hope that you're all well supplied with a drink of your choice. I do have some water here next to me, and I hope that you're all comfortable and ready to experience some modern fairy tales, which might include some gruesome stories and might be connected to emotional and physical abuse, being kidnapped, maybe being betrayed, losing trust in others and our own sense of reality. So
Gotta set a bit of a cliffhanger, huh?
I'm hoping this is a technical issue and he's not just leaving us here to
Yeah.
massive cliffhanger now.
I thought that was the cue for flashbacks, so I was doing my best.
Yeah.
you're doing great. Thank you. I was in the middle of something very important. I was about to tell you my place. If you feel that something is happening that you don't appreciate, that you don't feel well with, just
I think we don't deal well with you just randomly stopping talking.
Thank you for joining us, everybody. No, I'm kidding. Please stay.
In the Lost, where we have lost our voice.
Yep.
I mean, that would be appropriate for a Changeling game.
It's very appropriate.
Only able to speak through various frogs along your journey.
Mhm.
Now I need to write a story.
Yeah, it's an entire. All you're doing is just going for a wander and speaking to frogs. Occasionally, weird stuff happens.
Yeah, exactly.
can you hear me again?
I can hear you.
Yes.
Yes. You were just telling us about your stoplight system there, sir.
Yes. Just shoot me a message if you feel that something's coming up that you're not comfortable with. If you are a member of the audience and don't feel comfortable with the story we are telling, there's no shame in taking a break, go outside, take a sip of water. Most important thing is that everybody is feeling good and is actually enjoying the story. Great. Are we prepared to dive into the hedge?
I am.
I see smiles and nodding. This is great. Let's hope I get through my monologue without being interrupted 20 times. Sometimes people disappear. They get snatched from our sight and leave without a trace. But we don't even notice it or miss these people because there's somebody who looks just like them. These things are made out of twigs, twine, and road dirt. They wear the faces of the lost. They walk in the shoes of the lost. And they dine with the loved ones of the lost. Nobody suspects anything. And if you look into a mirror and see buttons instead of your wife's eyes, then you turn around and look into her face. There's nothing wrong with it. It must be your imagination. Or are you slowly turning mad? Better keep quiet about it. Whilst we live in ignorance, the lost are dragged through the hedge. It is a realm between realms, and it is full of thorns. They bite and tear into our flesh and soul, ripping form and memories off of you, poor creature, until next to nothing is left. After this torture, the captured are brought to Arcadia, the homeland of the fair folk, the gentry, the fairies. It is a wild land of dreams, wonders, nonsense, and great pain. For the fair folk take humans and reform them. Sometimes they need a deer to hunt, so they make the lost into fine game. Sometimes they need a candle, so they steer the flames in the heart of a human being and make it burn until it is burned out. Most of the taken never return, never find their way back or even a glimpse of a memory from home. But some very few remember and try to escape. This reminds me of a small motley of colorful lost. There was once a fae called Grandmother, and she was alone. She had heard about something called loneliness and decided she had this thing or feeling or whatever. She had also heard that loneliness was a bad thing, so she had to act. She went to the human realm, the Iron World, and looked for someone to fill the void. She found them and brought them back. They were so nice, so wonderful, so unfinished. Grandmother used all her power to form these children into something new, into a wonderful family. She also made a wooden doll out of a fitting human, and she didn't even forget about the pets. She made some nice cages and introduced some wonderful rules and laws so that nobody fell out of their role. Everything was close to perfect. But then the black sheep of the family misbehaved and ran away from grandmother's caring household. And all the other children followed, even the wooden doll. This was completely incomprehensible to the fairy, and she assembled a hunting party with bloodhounds and wild riders. The children escaped and ran through the hedge. Once again, the thorns ripped and shredded the escapees, and many dangers lurked in the brambles. Some they bargained with, some they tricked, and some they dispatched with brute force. In the end, they returned from the Emerald Maze only to find somebody else had taken their places, was wearing their faces, was walking in their shoes, and dining with their loved ones. Even if they had returned, there was no place to return to, and they realized they had lost everything, except for their little family, so they stuck together. Finally, they found others just like them, the forgotten, the lost, other changelings. This was really good, because the young Modley brought their own magics, dreams, and hunters with them back to Earth. To aid each other and control their twisted fey magics, they swore an oath to each other to stand vigilant and steadfast together. They even found a new home, a changeling community called a freehold. These communities are reigned by seasonal monarchs and portioned into the courts of spring, summer, autumn, and winter. This night is an autumn night, and because of that, the Autumn Queen, Lady November, leads the freehold in its struggle against the gentry and a rival freehold. But even magical oath can be broken and trust can be betrayed. So now it is once upon a time, once again. We are floating in the sky, Down below us is the big city. So big indeed that it hosts more than one changeling community called Freehold. Far away, we can see the complex in which the Queen resides, probably scheming for the peace talks tonight. Its windows are illuminated by jack-o'-lanterns, but our gaze turns to a different street. We lower ourselves between some buildings and glance through a window. Even though it is early before the sunrise, there's somebody awake inside. Leander, it is almost dawn. Why are you still awake?
The nights are restless now. It's been a while since Leander has been allowed amongst the freehold in the Autumn Court. So his nights are filled with wondering and thinking about what's going to come next, what he's going to have to do to survive. And so if he does ever get a moment of sleep, it's usually interrupted by a nightmare or some such, which I imagine that is why he is up this early.
It is indeed 5 minutes before dawn, and before your phone is going to ring. What are you doing to make sure you aren't dreaming anymore?
Leander immediately gets up and starts pacing his room, and he's huffing and he's puffing, and he finally goes over to the cinder block wall where there are multiple dents and markings in it from before, and he starts punching it repeatedly. And once there's a little bit of pain, then he realizes that he is in fact awake.
The pain in dreams is different. And so you know your surroundings are real. The phone is ringing, but before you can pick it up, we zoom out and turn our gaze to another building, to another apartment in which Red is living. It is almost dawn. Why are you awake?
Red has been sitting on the edge of her bed, staring out the window, because she swears that there's something out there. Keeps flying by her window, keeps tapping on it. She swears by this, and this is the thing that's been keeping her awake. Totally nothing else. Nothing at all. How could you think such a thing?
Sure.
Occasionally she'll get up and walk around the room, make sure she's still awake, and sit back down.
Are these moving around things that remind you that this is real? You're not dreaming, you're here. You notice your phone rings, but before you can pick it up, we will visit somebody else. Another dwelling. This time, as we peer through the windows, we can see Chester. Chester, it's almost dawn. Why are you awake?
I haven't been able to sleep right since we came back. I'm so concerned that I keep failing my family, and that's the reason the middle child left. So I wake up, I get dressed, because at the very least I can look prepared for whatever they might need me for. I fold up a paper and tear it just to do something, anything but worry. And that's all I can do.
It is 5 minutes before dawn. 5 minutes before your phone rings. And if you're sleeping not well, it's sometimes hard to identify if you're still sleeping or if this is real. What do you do to make sure that you are awake?
Oh, my hair is still silver from the thread from grandmother. That was too real to be dreaming. And I can't seem to get rid of it.
Usually, your kind is very good at manipulating dreams and taking the forms you desire. You can't do this in reality. So you can rest assured, yes, you are awake. Your phone rings, but before you can pick it up, we have one last place to visit. It is the home of the maybe busiest member of the Freehold right now. Ash is deeply involved into the political affairs of not only her own court, but the Freehold in a whole. Right now, there's some kind of, well, cynics would call it a street war between your Freehold and the one called the Orchard. Next night, there will be peace talks, and Lady November, the reigning autumn monarch, put a lot of busy work onto Ash's shoulders because they are very good at this. But right now, damn, it's almost dawn. Ash, why are you awake?
Since coming back, the world has changed so much. There's so much new knowledge in the world, so much access to things that I didn't have access to before. I've, with this task that I've been set and the access that I have now through computers to things that I could never have dreamed of, I delve into realms of knowledge and lore and practices that I never thought I would ever be able to have. I feel like I can't rest until I've made the best of this knowledge and learn as much as I can.
Some of this lore and some of these stories stick with you, into your dreams, manifest there. How do you make sure you're not in one of your dreams about folklore and mystical happenings?
As I sit there flicking through some of the books and web pages that I have open, around me are scattered lots of little toys and trinkets that I've managed to carve out to keep my hands busy so I don't drift and wander. And I occasionally flick some of the toys, maybe a Newton's cradle, just to hear the click of the noise, to know that it flows in the way that it should, or hit the head of a nodding perpetual motion machine, just to make sure that things are not too perfect.
This is working fine. And as the phone ring, you know that the call is real. All of you answer the call. And once again, we change locations. You stand completely still. Every single one of you. The air is thick with flavors. It tastes like red berries, summer sun, laughter, and honey. Deeply, you inhale the dripping air. On your skin, the juices trickle and drip to the ground. You start to feel intoxicated. Everything is spinning around you. They're beautiful smells, but there's something else. Smoke? Yes, smoke. You inhale a thick black smoke, and as you can see clear again, you realize you're standing in the smoldering ruins of your goblin fruit greenhouse. You and your motley worked the necessary glamours for years. This was very hard to accomplish. And this was a place of purpose and retreat for you. But now it is gone, burned down to the ground. You feel yourself slipping, losing the ground under your feet. Maybe panic gets you into its cold hands. Your heart beats so strongly, you fear losing it. It was them, the other freehold. It is a war raging for 100 years. And now it hit your refuge. What do you do?
Are we seeing each other?
Yes.
Leander's going to immediately slink toward like a shadowed kind of area to kind of get away from the rest of these three. Not in like a running away kind of thing, but like he just doesn't want to be around them currently. It's painful.
Leander, wait.
What?
You don't need to leave. I mean, we're family. We're not concerned if you're upset. It's all right.
I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know why I was brought here. It's always great to be brought back to painful memory without wanting to be. That family stuff doesn't apply anymore, though. I'm sorry.
We may not be family anymore in that sense, but we still have this connection. We came out. Red, good to see you again. You got us out. You gave us the chance. We followed you. Yeah, we may not be family anymore, but something has happened here. Look at it. You can't just back away from this.
Storyteller, does there seem to be a way out?
Totally is. Yeah, you can leave this place. It
Yeah.
might have been Penny who called you, telling that something happened at your greenhouse.
Penny.
Where's Penny?
She's not here.
Penny!
Penny? Do we know where she is?
Hard to say. The smell of the magical fruits made you forget a short period of time.
Look, it's clear something's going on and you all need help, apparently. So I'll help you find Penny and nothing more. Then I'm out of here.
That's all that we can ask. And the fact that you're willing to do that is amazing. So thank you, Leander.
Ash will pick something up off the floor and start fiddling with it with her hands, just to kind of keep her hands occupied, and mutter something under her breath, like just, yeah, there's just kind of subtle comment about how he occasionally doesn't follow, does his own things.
Well, maybe we should start looking for evidence, footprints, tracks, buttons.
Buttons, like from a fetch?
Anything. You know how these tricksters like to be with their things, their shiny things.
So, are you going to investigate the scene?
Yes, I will, unless somebody has a better investigation than I do.
I don't, but I was going to maybe do some occult investigation, see if there's anything
This sounds
More-
great to me.
normal other, more than other.
So let's start with some dice rolls. I will explain a little bit more than I do during my usual games, because this is meant as an introduction point. So, to roll a skill check, you look at your character sheet and decide with your storyteller what role you're going to do. In the case of Leander, it would be an investigation roll. So you take your points from the skill investigation and you add the points from your attribute wits that I'm going to say we are using. So that's a wits plus investigation roll. You add them up. If you have a specialization, which would be fitting, like crime scenes or stuff like this, you can add another die. And then you roll all these numbers in dice, D10, and we are looking for 8 and up.
That is 2 successes, one being a 10. Now do 10s reroll.
Yes, then 10s do indeed reroll, and you can add another success if they show up 8 or higher again.
Okay, so that is 3 successes. I rolled a 9 on my second roll with a 10.
Great. So you achieve 3 successes. So I will tell you some more information in a second. I would like to resolve the second dice roll as well, so I can give you the whole bundle as one. So Ash, this is interesting because I want you to describe what your approach is, and then we can negotiate the fitting attribute to your occult roll.
So I was thinking kind of like a normal investigation, but looking for signs, maybe physical signs, like things that are not natural, that have kind of maybe carvings on them, or plants that I know might not connect to the right things. So not actual spells, but more kind of physical objects relating to magic.
Mm-hmm. So this sounds like wits to me.
Yep.
Please add your occult if you have any fitting specializations. No, okay.
So this is going to be 2 wits. 3 just as a quick pointer to everybody who is here and how things go with me when I play games with dice. This I consider a high roll. I got 1 success. I will quite regularly get none. So just as a warning to everybody out there, don't trust me.
You already got more sympathy with me. So wonderful, great. Yeah, this is actually very well. This fits well. So the two of you are investigating the scene, and Leander is looking for all the good evidence and all the stuff you would need to identify mortal threats or yeah, like a good cop, he is investigating the scene. And yeah, I think that's the obvious part. The thing is burned down. It is probably destroyed by some sort of explosive device. You can see this. It was probably a single charge in the center of the room. You would say it was planted by somebody who isn't too familiar with this stuff. Like, this is not something they would usually do or go for. And you were probably looking for hints about Penny. You don't find any, but you find a patch of fur, which is at the unhinged door from somebody who must have entered or left the formatory greenhouse not too long ago. It smells of the smoke. It is unburned. And there's something familiar about this. I will tell you something more after I described what Ash found out. So you were looking at this place, and the thing you pick up is once again the smell, all the different kind of smells that are lingering in the air right now. And one of them is a plant you didn't have in the greenhouse. It is a flower, a summer flower, and you're pretty sure that the smoke should have killed that smell in the air. You shouldn't be able to smell it. And then you feel the sun is just getting up on the horizon, but in this burned out, dark remnants of a greenhouse, there's light. Somehow there's light. And you put 1 and 2 together, and you're pretty sure that somebody invoked summer magic not too long ago in this very place. Do you share your information?
I will. Ash will. Ash will be very frank about it. It's like, as soon as I take that hint of the smell and see the sun come up, and like, summer magic is happening here. Someone's done something with summer magic. This is not something simple. Someone is messing with us.
The summer court is a court of war, of fighters, of conflict. Both freeholds entertain a court of summer. You do have a monarch of summer as well as they do. And most of the fighting is done between these two parties. Penny is a member of the summer court as well, as somebody who was part of your motley before. Another changeling, a beast, formed into a petting dog. Ambrose. Penny is a doll made of wood. Ambrose does have a light-colored fur. I think it is at this point that Red realizes that you're still standing in the somewhat smoldering ruins of a former greenhouse. People will be waking up and going to work in not too short of a time. You should probably move.
You don't think that someone burned up Penny?
Leander's going to grab the fur and is going to kind of sniff it a little bit and then tuck it in his pocket. Go, I don't want to say too soon. But the smells.
Guys, we should get going. Like now.
Good idea, Red.
We should definitely leave. There's meant to be a peace talk tonight. This is not a good sign for happening just at this specific time. We need to. Red.
Yeah, Red's already throwing down her skateboard and starts riding off. Again.
Red!
We go again.
Leander
Gotta
just
run.
shakes his head,
Don't like running.
starts jogging after.
Same.
So you got a meeting point at which you feel safe to assemble. Some sort of cafe, which would be useful this early in the morning. A bar wouldn't have been opened. I would love for every single one of you to tell me one detail about this place you used to meet up and be together.
So if I could make this very personal for Red, I want to say one of the people behind the counter was Red's old boyfriend from before she was taken. So this is a very sentimental place for her. Whether or not he even recognizes Red, that I'm not sure.
Maybe we will find out tonight.
There's a booth in the corner in the back that's like a round booth with a round table that has like leather plush seating. And on the side of that booth, there is initials of each of them, of Ash, Leander, Chester, Red, Penny, and Ambrose, that was carved in by Leander's claw. But it's been a long time, it's faded.
There's something about the place that reminds Ash, again, kind of a connection to the childhood that she lost and that she kind of wants back. So there's an ambience to the place, to the coffee shop, that just kind of feels homely, but in that kind of nostalgic kind of way.
I think if there's pictures on the wall, there would be a group photo of the kids before they were taken, where they're all just enjoying some milkshakes because they would frequent it.
This is great. I love it. What kind of breakfast do they serve here?
Oh, you know, the old standouts, different scones. They've
Can I just
got...
ask a quick question? Are we in America or in Europe? Because
Oh, that's
to
true.
me, the ideas are going to be very different.
Yeah. Storyteller.
The story is set in an American city, which I totally remember, but usually I change it towards the location most of my players are settled in.
New Chicagodelphia. Got it.
Yeah, originally it's Chicago.
Man, Chicagodelphia.
Yep. Yep.
In that case, the breakfasts would be way too large and way too greasy.
Yep. Big old cinnamon rolls.
So we order like 2 breakfasts for the 4 of us, type of thing.
Yeah.
Half a
Yes.
cup of coffee.
And there's always a surplus of cinnamon rolls. I think this place is a secret location for some early risers, and they really do enjoy the atmosphere and all the very, very greasy food. Then you are greeted by the smell of the giant coffee machine, which is in an endless run of producing more dark liquids to get everybody ready for the day. So there are already a few people in here enjoying some arising chronic heart disease, and you notice that for some unusual reason, Red Special, someone is at the counter right now. What is their name?
Gonna go with Brandon.
Brandon. So Brandon is there and he's just making some lattes, and as you come in, the lot of you, and walk over to your regular place, he greets you kindly, and his eyes just linger a second longer on Red. Do people tend to recognize you or acknowledge your presence? You are a Darkling after all. Right.
Yeah. I think for red, people not noticing her is more of a conscious effort on her part, where she'll try and like hide behind other people and kind of go red in the face a little, especially now. Normally people wouldn't even notice she's there, besides, hey, she has a red hoodie, neat.
Brandon's gaze returns to the coffees in front of him, but you can see that something is on his mind. If one only could read thoughts, huh?
If only.
If only. So you settle down. You have got a lot of implications right now. Some talks need to be talked.
Leander sets the patch of fur in front of him and just sits down at the lumpy part of the booth that he's used to being in and just stares at it.
Ash is sat as well in the booth, but just marveling at the size that the sticky buns have become and the size of the coffees that people are drinking. The memories of childhood when you would thought everything was a lot smaller but still seemed quite big. Just kind of trying to remember those happier times before all this happened, sitting with the people that she would have been with at that time, but also realizing that life is different, these people are different. She knows more than she really wants to know, but also wants to know more. Is also blurting out every now and then as someone walks past, is like, bloody hell, that's a big coffee. Just can't stop herself from saying these things like, do you really need that much caffeine? Or as you see someone who's going to like pour the entire sugar tub into it, it's just like, going to have no teeth left at the end of this.
Red does both of these things of like the big coffee, a lot of sugar.
Ash just looks at you and he's like, you not think about your teeth? Is that just something you don't think about anymore? You just not care anymore?
I didn't sleep well last night, okay?
Do any of us sleep well?
No, actually, now that you mention it.
No, I don't sleep at all, but I can't think of what would cause that.
It goes a little red in the
The
face.
red issue is it's those coffees.
Chester guiltily takes his iced black coffee with no sweetener and kind of just hides it behind the napkin holder.
So, summer court interference. It was a single explosive set in the middle of the room. And potentially Ambrose's fur was found in the hinge of this door, but not burned after the fact. So,
You went back through the wreckage. What?
either they did this and they went to go check on their handiwork, or they noticed it happened and they went to go investigate, and then that's when they called us there. but they're not there anymore.
Who called us there?
Penny called you.
Penny? Yeah, Penny.
Penny wasn't there. But we've got her from Ambrose.
We may have been influenced by the demolished goblin fruit and forgotten a little bit.
Maybe.
That's possible.
Hate that shit.
She could have not been there, or she could have been everywhere.
I think a good next step is for us to maybe investigate her place or track down where her and Ambrose were last seen. Wherever that might be found.
Well, where do we even begin? Penny had a lot of enemies. She was an enforcer.
With the war going on, and the peace treaty, peace talks going on, are we sure that someone attacked Penny and it wasn't Penny attacking somebody else? Maybe somebody gained entrance and Penny attacked somebody who was in our place and shouldn't have been there.
Do we go to the summer court? Do we go directly to it? Just knock on their door?
If you can do that, I will follow if you do that. You can obviously be in front.
Of course. Look, I told you I'd help you find Penny, and it seems that Penny is in the wind. So I'll do this. If that's what you think we should do. Red, Chester?
If you think going directly to the summer court is the answer, I will fully stand with you, and I will do my best to sweet talk them, as you know I am wont to do.
I was just about to say they might not want to see me, but you might be able to talk to them.
I can
What do you think,
resist
Red?
the spring court.
What do you think, Red?
I think we should talk to them. Yeah. And as she says this, she's focused more on a napkin as she's making a quick doodle of Brendan on a napkin. And then when she's done, she tears it up for invoking a contract to figure out what's going on in that guy's head.
Oh.
Or what will possibly be going on.
Ooh.
Portents and visions.
This sounds great. Please tell our audience and the other players what this contract does do.
Portents and visions. Take at least 1 minute, and if successful, read an important event, promise, or deal in the target's past or future. If the future, gain the informed condition regarding the target, and because I'm a Darkling, I can instead view a past crime or transgression, and inflict the guilty condition on the target. There. So, to do this, I would need to roll manipulation plus occult plus weird versus their composure plus weird. And it would normally cost 1 point of glamour, but because I did the loophole of tearing up a picture of the target, it's free?
It is free, indeed. And the weird is two things. First, it is a power. It is the power of fate and of stories. And on the other hand, it is a marker of how deep you are into the Fey magics, the higher the word rating of a changeling is, the more powerful they get. And also they are bound by fate. They receive frailties and banes and all the good fairy tale stuff. So, since Brandon is immortal, he doesn't have no word, and I'm going to roll his composure. And we will compare the amount of successes we rolled.
So Red rolled a whopping 10 dice and got 4 successes.
These are 4 successes more than I achieved. So
Red would like to learn of an important event from the past.
I think as you look down onto the ripped up napkin, you can see the scribbled lines. They start to move on their own behalf. They start to dance around on the paper cloth and start to build a new scene. It is a rough sketch of this very place, and you can see Brandon. It is, you can't tell, it is some time ago. And you enter the cafe with your friends. All of them, all 6. Leander, Chester, yourself, Penny, and Ash, as well as Ambrose. Ambrose, who betrayed you, who was kicked out of your freehold and found refuge at the orchard. So it must be pretty close to your first arrival back here. A lot of you come in, and at that point you didn't catch that he was noticing or recognizing you. But as you sat down, I couldn't stop to stare at you. You see this? The whole night long, he just did his work, and whenever he had the opportunity, he watched you. And as you left, he picked up the phone. And he called somebody. You can see his part of the conversation because tiny speech bubbles appear on the napkin. I tell you, she was here. And I don't know, she was like, yeah, and I know you called her last night and she was in California, but I tell you, she is here. Maybe wearing some kind of crazy makeup. It was like, I didn't recognize her at first, but I am so sure that Yeah, totally cold. Didn't say anything. I don't know. I mean, it's like a real thing. She came back and didn't address anything. Yeah. Well, I see they're still out there. Call her. And then there's some waiting. No, she hadn't picked up the phone. You are talking to her, right? You haven't called another number by accident or stuff like this. Okay. I could swear it's her. Maybe you get another 6-pack and I crash at your place tonight. Yeah, thanks, bud. Till later. And then the napkin returns to its torn portrait of Brandon.
Red very quickly snatches up the napkin, stuffs it in her pocket, and then pulls the drawstrings on her hoodie and just leans back.
There's something in this game called clarity. It is your connection to the way. No, it's not your connection. It is your ability to perceive the world as all the mortals do. It is the system you would know as morality or humanity from Vampire and stuff like this. So it has a track from 10 to 0. And this this Jumpstarter doesn't include the clarity rolls, but solves this by going into willpower. Usually, since Red's identity is questioned by somebody who is still important to her, as we have seen, this would have called for a roll against her clarity. We don't have this, so we just take away 1 point of willpower from Red, as you see that this person is having severe doubts about you being you. They seem to have proved that there's another version of you and something is wrong with you. So returning to them would be pretty hard if you ever wanted to.
As Red realizes this, little damp spots start to appear on the outside of her hood. She just sits quietly. Doesn't answer any questions outside of like a nod or a head shake.
Chester will put his hand on either your shoulder or hand, noticing that you've withdrawn, but doesn't say anything because it's obvious that you want to be, kind of shielded from the world at the moment.
Maybe we should get out of here.
Red nods.
Before there's more of a scene, I think we should definitely leave. Nothing weird's going on at all. No.
Mm-hmm.
So let's head to the warm summer court and all their warmth that they're going to provide us.
Warmth of a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Back for
Warmth of
everybody to go out.
So you get
Yes.
a... Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, please go.
Yes, the summer court with the warmth of 1,000 suns.
Happy to burn you with those 1,000 suns as well, aren't they?
Sounds like a nice place. So you get up from your seats and you're ready to leave the cafe.
And as we leave, can Ash buy herself a bottle of water?
Sure you can. As you go over to the counter, you realize that Brandon is now indeed shooting looks at you and shooting looks at the picture of your band on the wall. And then he looks at Red. So,
can I over here? Look at me. I'm the one here who wants to be served. No, nothing else to look at. Come look at me, please. Can I just grab a bottle of water?
Sure. Sparkling?
No, just plain. Just still water will be fine. Maybe 2.
Sure.
I might need to cover an area at some point soon.
Why not? And he puts down the bottles on the counter, but doesn't let them go right now. And he looks intently at you, and then he says, "The picture there, that's you guys, right?"
No, that's a bunch of kids. We're not kids, are we? Like, we're quite clearly not young children.
Yeah, but that is really you, right?
Doesn't look like me. Don't know why it's important if it is. Can I just have my water, please? Horrendous customer service here.
Yeah, sure. And he pushes one of the bottles to you and is in the motion to give you the second bottle. What was the name Brandon knew you by, Red?
With Lucy.
How good is Ash at picking up social clues?
Very good, I would think. Let me just have a quick look at the sheet. Well, her empathy is good at I'm good at lies, and it's all pledgy stuff, so maybe not that great.
But probably well enough. So you can see that he's settled on a decision. He is going to say something directed at Red if you don't intervene, if you wanted to.
I do want to. Let me just. I've got socialisy things here. I'm guessing he's not part of the Winter Court.
No, he isn't.
Oh, Red, are you part of the Winter Court?
Red is part of the Autumn Court.
I'm going to negotiate with Brandon. It's like, look, I'm your customer. I'm the one trying to buy these drinks off you. You don't need to pay attention to anybody else. If you give me these now, I will give you double the price as a tip. And I want to negotiate. Hopefully, this will get my blessing invoked.
Oh, what is your blessing?
5th blessing. If I achieve an exceptional success of 3 when using politics to negotiate or interpret fate pledge. I didn't read it properly. No, it's not a fate pledge. Ignore that. Unless he's trying to convince a fate pledge to Red. Well, that's going to work.
Oh, you could make this into a promise. If I give you these, if I pay you double, you won't address my friend over here.
Yeah.
And then you can bind this by a point of glamour and make this a magical, protected promise, which would be very bad for him to break, because the power of fate, the word, will get back on him. He doesn't know this, but it is, he will feel it is a stupid idea to interact against this pledge.
I will definitely do that. I will definitely. Having seen how Red has just suddenly reacted to something, obviously, and vague recollections of being in here and him asking too many questions, I'm definitely going to put this promise onto him.
So there are some in-depth rules for magical promises, pledges, and oaths in the core book. So if we wanted to go mechanical on this, there is a very good place and section to look at this. For the sake of simplicity, we will just go with spend a point of glamour and please craft the wording of this pledge.
I promise you a double tip at the cost of these waters if you promise to ask no more questions about us.
You can see his eyes light up. He knows he is up to something, and he is reassured. He would probably ask further questions, but right now he's all too willingly accepting the money. He pushes the bottles to you. Yeah, take them. This would be, and he gives you an appropriate number. And as he receives the cash, all of you can see how he lumbers down as if a heavy weight was packed onto his shoulders, and he just falls silent.
I smile back at him in like the happiest thank you customer kind of way I can, and go, thank you very much. Pleasure doing business with you. And pick the 2 bottles up and just walk out.
Wonderful. As you are turning around to go outside, somebody else opens the door, and I assume it's Chester who's closest to the door. You notice there's bright sunlight coming from the sky, shining through the door, and there's a tiny girl coming in, maybe 9 years old, pigtails, and she is wearing a jacket and has a backpack, probably ready for school, on her back, and she comes in and smiles at you and says, "Good morning."
Good morning. You seem very bright and cheery. What are you doing here without your parents?
Oh, I am looking for some friends.
And who might those be?
I don't know. Maybe you will be my friends. I'm on my way, and I wanted to not be alone. So you look like nice people, and are obviously heading out of this door.
Obviously, is a big word for a 9-year-old to use. Red's going to peek out from her hood to look at this girl's shadow, just to make sure nothing screwy's happening there. Like, really look at this girl. Like, are you just a girl? Are you a goblin? Are you a huntsman? Are you a changeling? Just really scrutinize this girl.
So you can spend 1 point of willpower and roll wits plus composure to do something that's called kenning. This allows you to notice fey magic, which is hidden away in the mortal realm. That's why nobody is seeing you for what you truly are. You are hid away behind a mask, and so is everything fey related as well. But everybody has his necks to find out about it. Some look through some broken glasses, some look through a hollowed stone, some just hear and feel the rhythm of the area. Do you want to do some canning?
Yes, please.
So please roll your wits plus composure.
That is 0 successes. Seems fine to me. Continue talking. Boom.
Great.
May I take the opportunity to attempt kenning as well?
Sure.
Right, and that was... Sorry, I'm opening my sheet here.
This sheet has a very uncomfortable way to roll 2 attributes. You can just click on the attribute task roll above your attributes, and then you can select 2 different attributes.
Oh,
That-
yes, Foundry still is having gremlins for me. So I...
Choose wits plus composure.
So that is 6 dice. Uh, 1 success. Just 1 9, sadly.
Yes. Very well. What would be your method to discern if something is hidden behind a mask or not?
I think that Chester might carry around a hagstone, one of the smooth stones with a hole in it, to peer through.
As you peer through it, it is hard to make out a difference. But you notice the child isn't irritated a bit by you looking through a stone. If you would have done this in front of a normal person, they probably thought you mad, but the child is perfectly friendly, smiling at you. And that's the moment you see the glimmer in their eyes. There's fey magic.
So, little friend, where might you need friends to accompany you to?
Well, I was thinking about having you know, like a tea party, just without tea, like sitting around, having a talk, laugh together, telling jokes, telling stories, like these things.
You say you're going to have a party. Does this involve playing games?
Oh, yeah, we could play some games.
Oh, do you have some really good games that we could play?
Yeah, like spinning the bottle and like truth or dare and
I was thinking maybe something more with involving toys or something, or cards or something. Nothing too serious. Let's just start off nice and friendly, and then we can maybe move into something like truth or dare. I know I've got some things I'm not really wanting to talk about at the moment, but any kind of games that might involve like I don't know, I Spy or something like that. Do you know any of those kind of games?
yeah, we could totally, yeah, like I spy with my little eye that there's somebody missing or stuff like this.
Absolutely. There may, in
Absolutely,
fact.
yes.
Maybe
And now
we
with this, can I? Managed. I'm hoping he's going to say that I've managed to convince them. I want to use know the comp. I've written comp and I can't remember what comp means.
Competition.
Know the competition. I have hopefully goaded the target into challenging us to a game. If not, I'll spend the glamour.
Oh, this is great. I love this.
So it's going to take me 10 minutes to invoke. So maybe there was 10 minutes of conversation about what games we wanted to play.
10 minutes of truth or dare.
Yeah. We all suddenly went into truth or dare and went far too deep into things that we didn't need to know about. But at least Brandon can't ask us about them, so we're all good. But we get to play a game with the target to learn their needle and thread, or vice and virtue, and one aspiration.
This is great.
You want me to spend the glamour, or does that
No, I think you're fine. You brought them into playing a game with you, so that's all right. And the 10 minutes are just like, you're gonna play the game. Where do you play it, and what are you going to play?
I think if the child is trying to take us somewhere, let's play I Spy as we are kind of just walking out of the store and walking down the street to hopefully what we hope and where we maybe try to push the child towards the summer port. But using the goading of the game to distract the child into where we're going. But we'll see. We'll deal with that bit if we can deal with that bit. But yeah, kind of walking down the streets that I spy something beginning with R. Like I've just seen a red car drive past or something.
Yeah, that's just working so well. This is working so well. You walk down the street and you play this game, and the girl is really, really into this. And you know, as Ash is doing this, what are the others doing in the meantime? Are you playing along, or are you doing anything else?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Leander's just following along behind in the back, just clenching his fists repeatedly, just waiting for something to pop off. Just like he's like, yeah, this ain't a little girl. Yeah. He's like waiting for his moment, and everybody can tell that he's like jonesing for action. He is like, he's ready for it. The drop of a hat.
And Red's behind Leander, watching the girl over his shoulder. Like, her eyes are puffy now, and the hood's been opened up. She's just looking, and occasionally, whenever something goes off, like, she suggested spin the bottle, those types of situations, Red just goes, yeah, that's not right. That's not right. That's not a girl. No, that's not right. It's not a little girl.
While Ash is playing the game, she's desperately hoping that Leander is ready for anything to go down in case I just suddenly lose my head. Something jumps out and kills me for no reason.
Yeah, please. I was about to ask what you're doing.
Cupid's Arrow is a spring court contract, and it costs a glamour. It is contested. I learn the target's greatest desire, and I may turn it toward another subject instead. The loopholes, I'm holding an ivy flower, but alas, I do not have one, as far as I know.
I spy with my little eye. Do you find some ivy flowers during the game? Are you partaking in the game, Chester?
That's a dangerous question.
It is.
In the spirit of enjoyment, Chester will in fact take part in this game.
How to make the most innocent game out there creepy.
This is your fault, actually.
I tried to think of a non-creepy game. It didn't work.
This is a changeling game.
We should have just done tic-tac-toe.
Nothing
No.
bad ever happened with this game. Never.
No, it's all fine. Everything's fine.
So you spy all the great stuff, like, there's this window. It is just like every other window, just it's a little bit ajar. And it just indicates that it wasn't meant to be open. That probably something crawled into this flat and maybe took somebody away. You spy the ivy flowers, the overgrown walls, the places which aren't reeking of technocratization, of logic, of dreadful ordinarity. You find these archways which are hidden away, waiting to be found by secret seekers to lure them away. There's somebody brought to your attention who looks like a perfectly normal person, talking, wearing a suit to other perfectly normal human beings as well, wearing suits. But this man, he has toy car wheels for eyes. And in a faraway place, there's somebody just like this, bereft of their life. You point out all these fun little things as Chester invokes his contract. And I believe you have to do a roll for this, right?
Yes, indeed. It is a wits plus empathy plus mantle versus composure plus weird.
Just as well, know the competition is also a versus roll, so I'll do that at the same time.
This is going to be interesting. We find some competition. Give me Chester's rolls. Composure plus word. Well,
I rolled good dice for once.
Oh no. Does that mean you've stolen from my pool?
Probably means everything else I roll for the rest of the game is just going to be an utter failure.
Mm.
So, Chester, what do these numbers say?
I rolled 3 successes, one of which being a 10.
And did you re-roll for the 10?
I shall right now. Oh, nothing.
I was very happy with my 1-9 and my 1-10, which I re-rolled, and I only got 2 successes. So things start to happen as you're playing this innocent game of spotting the misery of other people's lives. And as you are telling, I spy with my little eye something I desire, you receive an answer. As the ivy flower loses its petals. Oh, I know the answer to this one, says the girl. There's something I think everybody desires. And that is to rule all of fairy. And you're pretty sure that she didn't want to say this. That you broke into her mind and make her say this. And now comes the interesting part. You do have the ability to change this desire. You can implement another wish into her heart. But this would mean that you force somebody else to do as you wish, just as your captors did with you. And you would have to face the consequences of this. Do you wish to change this wish?
At this realization, Chester stops walking with the rest of the group, and he's weighing within himself, find Penny and solve this attack on our greenhouse, or commit a keeper's crime. And he goes pale. He just stares at this girl, thinking that she must be quite powerful already to want to rule all of fairy. He thinks in order to not let down family once more, he may have to do this horrid thing. And so he, in order to attempt to counteract the terribleness that this is, he wants to change her desire to facilitating peace between the two freeholds that are at war.
And since clarity is substituted by willpower in this game, you lose another point of willpower. And there is a moment in which the girl just listens to you saying, "And I spy with my little eye peace between the freeholds." And then she nods and says, "Yes, you're right. This would be great. Everybody would have more time for games, wouldn't they?"
They would, in fact, and it would also help lost friends come home.
Maybe we should really start with this, right? Maybe everybody should get back together. And the 10 minutes have passed by. And how would this turn out? I think,
I've got to make my roll first before.
yeah, you're right. Maybe you should do your roll first.
I was going to let you just give us something then, but I thought, no. In the
Before
spirit
I doom us all.
so I rolled it when Chester rolled hers. Not Chester, sorry. Ever rolled hers. I got 4 successes. 2 of those were 10s. I re-rolled those 10s and got 1. No, I got 5 successes, sorry. So I've got 6 in total, basically.
6 in total. This means you've achieved a critical success, which is very awesome. Does our
composure and weird is if you want to try and attempt to beat that.
I can try, but her defenses are already pretty low. Does our paper say anything about exceptional success on this contract?
No.
It doesn't. Well, then we just go with more information.
So we get to learn their needle and thread, or vice and virtue, and 1 aspiration.
So if you did this with another changeling, you would learn what ties them to this place, to this world. Why did they return? And how do they cope with all this? How do they get through life? What is their driving force? Are they living for revenge? Are they living for love? Do they try to get back to their families? Is there a place they need to protect? Something that binds them and something that motivates them? You find neither. Instead, you find a maze in which somebody lost themselves. You're pretty sure there was once humanity in this child. Maybe the way she pointed at that one archway, maybe she wandered off. Maybe she went through a door she wasn't supposed to go through and lost her way. There are those who were never found by the fairy, weren't found by changelings, who stayed within the hedge. And if you stay there for too long, the place with all its wonders starts to change you. No one can tell what you will become, but you will become a denizen of the hedge. And some of these grow in power. Some of them are called Goblin Queens. And they have a life of their own. They have dreams. They enjoy things like games. This one very much loves games and still believes it is a child with a crown. She had big plans, ruling all of Fairy. And there was a first step to this plan, bringing you, the people with your faces, to a place in the hedge and make you meet somebody. Now you know all of her intentions. She wants to be entertained, that she wants to play games, and she wants you to meet somebody else.
We just surreptitiously make a Goblin Queen work on our side. Chester. Wow.
I believe possibly yes. But you know as well as I do, Ash, that words can be twisted, much like the hedge. So we'll see.
Yes. Well, if you, I'll have told Chester this as I've seen him do the I Spy change your thing that you want to do. I'll turn to Chester. And go, you speak to Red and Leander. I will keep the child Goblin Queen entertained with some games. And we'll keep doing I Spy or something else. It's all fine. If you maybe talk to the other two and see what they think we can do, because I'm now a little bit, I'm worried that we might have just, I don't know, gone too far.
It'll be fine. Everything's fine. I'll talk to the other two.
I will play games. I'm good.
Don't get eaten.
I don't intend to, but Leander looks like he wants to punch something. So hopefully, before I'm fully eaten, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I've got lots of games. If not, I've got some of my trinkets, and we can play with some trinkets. I don't know.
That's a good plan. Red, Leander.
What's happening? I've gotten through like 8 levels on 2 dots right now, just because like you've been playing I Spy with this looks around girl.
So about that, I have good news and I have bad news. Which would you like first?
Good news.
Bad news.
Bad news.
So the bad news is that is a Goblin Queen.
All right. Nope. You know what? I'm done.
Don't wait.
I said I didn't want to be a part of this, and you brought me into it, and you've got me
hold
meddling.
on. Hear me out, Leander. You can punch a car later or something when we can run away from the scene. But look, I worked some of my spring magics, and originally this Goblin Queen wanted to take over the entirety of Fairy. I changed her desire to facilitate peace within the freeholds.
You took a Goblin Queen,
Mm-hmm.
and you changed her desire, which I'm assuming was to cause as much mischief and chaos as possible. And you took that and you changed it into making there peace between the freeholds? That's what you're telling me right now. That's what you just said.
I may or may not have said that, yes.
Is there going to be a point where she figures out that she's been messed with?
Oh, I think she already knows.
Well, it seems like you have the wonderful job of leaning into that and just kind of nurturing that whole thought and making sure that it doesn't change at any point. Because if it does change, then that's just going to spell trouble for all of us.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I am a diplomat. I am a spring court fae. I've got this. I've got this. I won't let you down. I'll do my best not to let you down.
You don't have to make sure that I'm not let down. Don't let yourself down.
Huh. I've never... I don't like that thought. Let's move on.
I'm exiled. I don't matter anymore.
Oh, you matter to me. You matter to us. But while we're talking this out, poor Ash is playing games with the tiny monster in bright clothing.
All right. Leander's going to go, all right, and is going to walk over to Ash and the little Goblin Queen and bend down and go, what's your name? To the little girl.
My name is Lisa.
Lisa, that is a wonderful name. Lisa, have you ever been to the summer court?
No.
No. Oh my goodness. Well, let me tell you, if you liked the games that were being played with our wonderful friend Ash here, then I'll tell you what, the freehold of the summer court, the orchard, is it? The orchard. They have so many wonderful games.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem convinced, actually. You know, the summer people, they are very scary. They like kill people.
What?
No.
Oh, yes, but they only kill people who are mean to them, right? The ones that really deserve it. Not ones that want to play games
with them.
Exactly, Ash. Look, we were going to go there and we were going to play a bunch of games and talk with some very cool people, but it seems like you don't want to go. It seems like you might not be fun enough to go with us. So I guess that we can just go ahead and go by ourselves.
You'll miss out on Spin the Bottle.
What? And at this point, I need to ask you a meta question. This adventure has a certain structure, let's say, and I'm ready to go off the rails if you want to.
Okay.
This would mean we are going to the summer court. Otherwise, we can play the adventure as it would progress as naturally. I want to have you the decision right now. What do you think is more fun?
Well, we are here to showcase the Jumpstart and the adventure.
We are.
Yeah.
I did not realize that going to the summer court would be going off the rails, so to speak.
It would vary. And I am really, really up to this. So, but I don't know how much time do you have at your disposal. So I would very enjoy to go to summer court. But if we want to stick a little bit closer to the story, which I already changed substantially, we should engage the next scene.
Maybe we follow the story as written, but it kind of at the end of the story, it's led us to the summer court. So it's kind of a roundabout route to the summer court. And if we have time, we can go to the summer court.
I like that.
Yeah. the thing is, I read it in the chat as well. There, other groups have actually gone into the whole court intrigue stuff before they entered the next scene, and I see a lot of opportunities in doing this, but I want to kind of have it as a one session adventure.
Yeah.
And we are in danger of leaving that space right now.
Well, let's stick with the story then, coaches.
Yeah.
Let's follow the Goblin Queen that we didn't utterly just kind of bend to our will in any way, shape, or form.
The adventure gives some information about what would happen if you were about to talk to the Autumn Queen and stuff like this, because she's the reigning monarch right now, and we do have the names of the other monarchs. So it is not like super duper railroady if you're thinking that that it's the fault of the adventure. You're just thinking about the structure of our one session tonight. So great. Let's get back into the story.
Yeah, cool. I've got a way to kind of bring that back in. Kind of yes. What we can so Lisa, we can go play these games, but isn't there someone you want us to meet? Maybe we can play games with them as well. Kind of get you and your friend to learn some games before we go to the court. You can teach us some of your games, and we can teach you some of ours.
That seems fair.
Yeah. You know what? I how about this? We go to the meeting right now, and we can make this into another game. What do you think? She said.
I think you are a very brilliant girl. Because flattery gets you everywhere.
And go kind of eyes wide, just like staring up between Leander and Lisa, just kind of keep an eye on it. Yes, we will play one of your games. This sounds brilliant.
Great.
I agree.
Red's in the background, just out of view, just going like, no. Not getting any attention. It's actually very cutting, but
Oh.
Kind of look over at you and like, sorry, sorry.
Let's make this a race, right? And she is leaning against a door to an apartment building. And she just strokes the door handle with one of her fingertips. And she mutters something, and then she just falls backwards as the door opens. And emerald light floods from the gateway into your direction as she enters the door into the hedge. On the other side, you see another street and apartment buildings, but they are covered in ivy and other green plants, climbing up the walls, covering everything. You see one or two old cars, but there are some carriages between them. There is a three-legged horse walking across the broken street. And you see that from this place, the street dwindles into the distance, into a maze made of thorns. She turns around and starts running. What do you do?
Leander is going to attempt to run alongside her. And if she tries to do any tricksy tricks or anything like that, he's going to utilize his hunting specialty for survival to keep her scent, to keep track of her.
This is a brilliant idea. I love this. What are the others doing?
I actually have politics with a specialty of goblins, and I know that the goblins are specialists at going through the hedge. Would any of that bleed over into my knowledge?
Probably yes.
Okay, so we're not entirely doomed going through the hedge.
You certainly aren't. It is a risky but rewarding thing to go into.
Ash is not looking forward to going back. I spent so long learning the ways out and learning the loopholes to get out of the hedge, to become free again, to come back to my life. That just the thought of going back is not. She's fighting it. She knows she has to, but she really, really does not want to go back. Does not want to go back to grandmother. The tortures and the disciplines that she got from her are quite hard. And seeing that green glow and the ivory on the buildings is just. She starts tinkering with the bottle caps on the water bottles, opening and closing them. She just watches Leander run. Someone might have to convince me.
Chester will put his hand on your shoulder. Ash, we won't be going back there. I won't let us go back there. This might be the hedge, but it's not there.
I look at you, reach into my pocket, pull out a small little charm, little silver charm that I've hand carved. Place it into your hand. I know, I know we're not going back there, but it's hard. If you are with me, I'm sure it will be okay. It will be okay. I will cope. Thank you.
I will do my best not to leave you or leave you behind.
Suppose we ought to catch up, Leander.
Red?
As this little pep talk's going on, Red stares into the hedge, almost pouting, tightens the hood around her face, throws down the skateboard, and rides off like a blur. Always trying to stay in line of sight of everyone.
Into the hedge?
Into the hedge.
Well, you just kind of got, nope.
Just leaves everyone behind. See you guys later now. Red's riding into the hedge.
Wonderful. And as the motley follows Leander and Lisa into the depth of the green maze, and we're starting to an action sequence, we will go for a break for a few minutes and return with new vigor and all the necessary power. So please, Travis, take us away. And we're back. I hope you haven't missed us or sent a searching party at this point, because we are about to maybe getting lost within the hedge as we enter the green maze. The camera just captures a picture of the door, the house door you just went through, snapping into its lock. And then we are on the other side. We see that during the discussion between Chester, Ash, and Red, Lisa and Leander made way. They ran off, and as it seems, Lisa is having a party with you. She is just enjoying this, and she starts running. And at first, it's pretty easy to keep up with her because you are fast as well. I think you're very, very fast run. And then she takes a turn and leaves the main road. There's still some sort of path, but soon after you jumped over some garbage bins and some hedge trash, whatever that might be, the path is getting crowded with more stuff. And stuff starts out with the remnants of bicycles, and then they slowly turn into roots of trees which come out of the windows of the walls, and then some of the stone workings looks like it became liquid at some point and drooled over the floor, and it's getting difficult. She seems to know where to place her feet, but this is new territory for you, Leander, and I need you to indeed roll something for me. Since you're still on very close to her, I think the tracking and hunting wouldn't maybe apply at this point. So I would go for dexterity plus athletics. And we're entering a chase. The thing is, if you're going into the hedge, it will try to lead you away, to divert you from your original destination and lead you to other places, which might be good. Most often it isn't. And so we have multiple participants in this race. We have the four of you as one party. We do have Lisa, who's trying to outmaneuver you and run away, because that's the reason of the game, right? That's the thing. And then there is the hedge also participating. And
the hedge has just stolen the voice.
He's been taken.
Well, I think I can efficiently do that without getting lost. It's also important to note that I don't know if this comes into play, but my Seeming Blessing gives me a +3 to my initiative and my speed. So since I am a beast, so I think that might lead into it. So let's see how that goes. Okay. All right. That is 3 successes. I rolled trip 9s.
3 successes. I don't think that your Kith Blessing is giving you a special rule on athletics, does it?
No. My Kith Blessing is just that's the subterfuge one. My Seeming Blessing is just, it gives me plus to speed, and I didn't know if you want to take that into account or not. But that's probably just in combat.
in a blah, 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 abstract way, I'm going to take this in. It will matter in the story. So you got 3 successes, right?
That is correct.
How many does Lisa get? She gets 3 as well. So your speed is important in this case. She is just running like the wind, and there are some holes in the ground, and at one point you think she just slips into one of these holes and appears out of another, and it looks like she is getting away from you. How do you cover the distance this time so she won't get away this easily from you?
There would be a moment where I see her dodging into holes and everything like that. And Leander, being a big boy, is not able to fit into small holes like she is. He is able to leap bounds and climb things well. So if she were to look back, she would see that she had potentially lost Leander, and then he falls down right beside her as he has leaped up on top of maybe a wall, a concrete wall or something, and just kind of run alongside it and then leaped over to catch back up to her.
Wonderful, wonderful. So the rest of the motley watches them as they run away. And I need you to tell me what you're doing to don't lose them.
Panicking. Right. I'm going to try something here. Knowing that I'm not very good at running or athletics or stuff like that, or at least not in the kind of level of Leander, I'm going to change fortune. I'm going to use the contract to change my fortune. And I'm not going to loophole it because that kind of defeats the object of the changing fortune bit. It's an instant action, and it allows each success. I can use either I can either add one or take one away from a die from the target's next roll, or raise or lower its exceptional target by 1. I am wizened, so after seeing the roll, you can make the target re-roll and keep the second result. Now, Storyteller, can I do that on myself? Can I change my own fortune, or does it have to be somebody else's?
I can't read that you can't do this on you to yourself.
It's going to cost me 2 glamour to do this, so it's quite expensive. But the loophole is I dramatically fail the roll. I have to dramatically fail a roll, and as I want to make the roll, I'm not going to do that. So spend my 2 glamour. It is a wits, occult, plus weird, minus resolve. I don't know. It doesn't tell me. Oh, yeah. Cool. Which only gives me 3 dice. So I'm probably going to lose 2 glamour here for no successes. Ooh. I've got an 8 and a 10, and re-rolling the 10 gives me another 10, which gives me another 8. So I've got 4 successes. I don't understand what's happening. Why did dice like me today? This is
Changeling is your game, David. Changeling is your game.
I'm going to
You are a
quit the
changeling.
No more Warhammer Fantasy on Sundays on Ganna Gaming. Not doing that anymore. It's going to be Changeling.
Yes.
So yeah, I get 4. So
Wonderful. You get 4 dice for your next roll if you want to, or you lower your own exceptional threshold by 4 to 1. You can decide on this for your next roll.
I'll probably take the extra dice. I
Great.
need all the help I can get usually with dice. So.
Yeah. Wonderful. How is Red tackling this situation? You are a fast person as well.
Yeah, speed 14. But Red is trying to catch up to the name escapes me. Our Goblin Queen,
Lisa.
Lisa. Trying not to hit any of the cracks or any dirt mounds as she rides. She's trying to hold back the tears, because seeing all the vines, all the bramble, is reminding her of that time where she ran away. Just trying to keep it in. She makes a dexterity athletics.
Yeah. Do you want to use any helpful equipment? Maybe.
Helpful equipment. So the equipment I do have seems to be my skateboard and a knife, and I don't think the knife would be helpful.
Doesn't make you faster, right?
So if I can use my skateboard, I'd love that. But
Sure. Why not? Implement it into your storytelling, and then I grant you another die.
wow. I know. So that would be 2 successes.
Wonderful. You are pretty fast. And although you're not navigating the surroundings and the way as well as Leander and Lisa do, you make it up just by speed on your skateboard, and you're getting there. You're getting there. So for Chester and Ash, see Red skating away. What do you do?
Chester takes Ash's hand, and I would like to activate one of my contracts, Goblin's Luck. And it is a 1 glamour cost. The action is instant, and I make a random guess with finite possibilities for something minor, and it's the right one. So if you consider it minor, not getting to the edge of this maze, but going from appropriate path to appropriate path. So it's not a major decision. It's a minor within the bigger picture. The loophole is to willingly let this contract also benefit an unfriendly rival or enemy, and I would rather spend the glamour. I've done enough damage.
Yeah, I would. But can I in a way help this? So I was thinking of using my occult knowledge to somehow track where Lisa is going to go in the maze. See if she is leaving some kind of magical trace that I can pick up on.
Oh, this is a brilliant idea. I love this. And yeah, together with Chester, this is going to be.
We can just kind of jump and appear in front of Lisa. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What are the signs you're picking up?
I'm guessing because she's having a lot of fun in this game, there's a lot of kind of madness and happy, chaotic forces coming off her. I might want to try and pick up these signs of like pure joy and fun and escapism and things coming off her. And I get +4 dice to this roll.
This is just beautiful. And I will say you're doing a fabulous teamwork with Chester there, picking the right omens and all the good stuff. So I think Chester rolls the die, the roll as well, and you can add up any successes you have as a combined effort. And if you get beyond 5 dice for an exceptional success, you succeed both exceptionally.
What do you want us to roll? What do you want me to roll?
I think this is straight wits plus occult. If you have any specializations in the hatch or reading omens or stuff like this, this applies as well.
No, but I'm getting +4 dice onto it because of my other thing.
And I think Chester should receive a +2 bonus to this because of his contract.
And you would like me to make the same roll? Or?
Yes. And the thing is, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, I do not have any points in occult.
Then you just roll your wits minus the horrible number that's on your character sheet.
Yes, it is -3 unskilled, and
it is
I have
-3.
3 dots in wits.
So this would leave you with a chance die.
Okay.
But didn't you also give a +2?
That's right. So you have 3 dice still left.
Okay. Oh, perfect.
So I have 9. So hopefully, this is where my luck now fails me, and I just get 1s across the board.
Don't say it. Take it back. Eat the words. Oh, no successes for me.
6 successes for me. There was a 10 in there, which I got to re-roll. So
This is just great. The thing is, the hatch is psychoactive. It takes your feelings and starts representing them. You leave a trace of your personality in the hatch wherever you go, as it also strips away the mask from you. You have entered Uncanny Valley. You left the mortal realm, and you're be seen for what you truly are. And you see how the hatch resonates, and it was just the right idea to anticipate the joy she's going to have. And you notice the patterns and the leaves as they rustle. There's some which are just vibrating with pure undulated joy and the desire for more fun, more games. And this is just perfect for Chester, since this is his favorite emotion. This is something that Spring Court thrives on. And you are so good at looking, maybe we should go over there, and you actually take some time walking up some stairs and get a good overview from here. And you see as the city landscape is slowly changing into this complete hedge maze with crazy architecture in between. You can see the spots. You can see the spots where she frequents, where she is playing the games, where she meets other denizens of the hedge, and it's just like this one, there will be there in a second, and then you see it, the clearing, and as you identify the place, you see there's a throne made of candy in the middle of this clearing, and you immediately know this is the throne of this Goblin Queen. And as you try to turn around, you see something, Chester. A toy from your own childhood. What is this toy?
Oh. This toy would be actually a simple top, a spinning top that has all of the colors on it. That way, when it spins, it creates the illusion of being the color white because of how the spectrum of colors works. So it always made him wonder, oh, how does this work? And it caused him to develop curiosity about the world around him.
And it is just outside of your reach right now. It's on the wall a little bit lower, entangled in vines and thorns. And as you see this, we jump to Leander and Lisa as they are racing through the hedge, and she sees that you're right next to her once again, and she's like, and then she just jumps over some tree trunks and snaps with a finger, and one of the trees just stands up and tries to fall flat onto you. What do you do?
Ooh, all right. Well, I've got fast reflexes as well as, Ooh, we got Talon and Wing. Let me look at Talon and Wing. That seems like that would be a good one. All right. Ooh, I am going to, yeah, it's gonna add plus to my speed, but I think it goes into it. So Leander is a chimera. And so he has multiple parts of different animals that make up his whole. I am going to spend a glamour to use Talon and Wing, and which you see immediately wings sprout out of his back, and they're just like really quickly, just like some like bat wings or something, that catch him from the tree falling on top of him and then carry him over, if that works. I can also accompany that with a dexterity athletics roll as well.
Wonderful. Sounds right to me.
Perfect. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Beautiful. So she's trying once again to get away from you, and snickers as she laughs about her own joke, throwing a tree at you, and having all the best time as the sky above her darkens as your giant wings spread out and take you forwards. Sorry. My players are doing horrible stuff. Red.
Is it because we're the root of all the problems?
Yeah, you are. You totally are. Red. So you are very close to a falling tree, a flying Leander, and a running away Lisa. What do you do?
I think at a certain point it dawns on Red that she's not running away from anything. So she learns a little to let go a little, tries to hop over the branch on the skateboard, do like a little ollie type of thing.
I think that's working out very fine for you.
Leander's
Do
got a
you want-
scorpion tail if you need a little bit to swing across, just in case it's there.
Do you want to achieve anything else?
Other than the race and looking cool while doing it, nah, not much.
Not much. How much do you want to impress Lisa?
Mm. Impress Lisa. Less Lisa and more Leander, because me and Leander are friends, contrary to what he thinks. So it's more focus on impressing him than this little girl who might not even be a little girl.
This sounds so good to me. You know, if you want something really bad, you can spend a point of willpower to add 3 dice to your dice pool. Why didn't we go for something showy? I leave it up to you. Do you want to go with dexterity or presence for this role?
I will be using dexterity because I have no presence.
This is all right. And we can go for another athletics, or there's something to show off. It's not socialize. It is
There's expression.
expression.
I
Right.
also have nothing in.
It's all right. But this would also be a possibility for this role. So please go with your dexterity plus athletics plus a bonus die because you're using your skateboard.
And I will be spending a point of willpower.
Awesome.
And that's 6 successes.
Please describe how amazingly breathtaking this looks.
So Red, as the branch falls, a look of determination washes over her face as she hops onto it, then hops off of it, flying above Leander and Lisa. Maybe moving the skateboard in such a way that it taps the side of like a tree or a building and then lands on the ground ahead of them and whizzes by.
And you land perfectly. And as Leander's feet are probably touching back onto the ground, and he's maybe preparing for another jump or anything like this, he can see that behind Red, who just did the best stunt ever perceived by Changeling kind. Behind Red, there is a clearing. And on the clearing, next to some other random put together furniture is a throne made of candy. And you notice that you're very, very close to your goal. What do you do?
Think with the goal in sight, Red would try and slow down a bit. And as she slows down, the wind catches her hood. So this is the first time since she escaped that the hood's been down.
And
Kind of grinds to a stop in the clearing.
Leander?
Leander is. Does Leander see Ash or Chester anywhere nearby? Or have they already made it to the clearing?
They will be there in a hot second, but first I need to get a decisions from them.
Does it seem that clearing is where Lisa's going to?
You're pretty sure.
Pretty sure.
Your
All
hunter's instincts tell you this.
All right. All right. If that's the case, then Leander is going to, now that he's flying a little bit, is going to try to swoop down and pick up Ash and Chester and be like, come on, no one left behind. And make way to the clearing. To get them a little bit faster before Lisa.
Great. So, before this happens, Chester and Ash, you found something from Chester's past, not too far away from you, but in the thicket of the thorns. Do you want to try to get it?
Is it something that Ash would recognize? It may be something she made.
Sorry, one of something from Chester's past. I'm sorry, the toy.
So it's not a toy that Ash might have given to her at some point.
I don't know. Chester, is it something that Ash made?
You know, I think so. That seems like something Ash could make and get the colors perfectly so they pull off that prism trick when it spins.
Excuse me. That, I remember giving you that. That's something that, what's it doing here?
I'm not sure what it's doing here, but I don't feel right leaving it here. That's a part of you and a part of myself.
It's from my childhood. Why would it be here? Did you lose it? Did you?
I didn't remember it until I saw it, to be honest. It was almost like it was struck from my memory.
I've made many things. It helps me keep my hands and stop me thinking too much. But it's definitely something I made. But it's okay. It can't. I want to say it can't be bad here, but well, this place is, as we know, it's not always safe.
This might be a so-called icon, a lost piece of your memories, which you lost during one of your travels, probably your escape. Maybe later. But this is maybe something you're missing. but it is in the middle of the thorns.
Do we want to take it, Chester? I think I can maybe make something out of the junk lying around to wedge open a hole to get it out, so we don't have to touch the hedge. I'm sure there's stuff around here that I can jerry-rig something together.
If you do that, I'll reach in the hole.
This is where I need to kind of again combine a load of rules together to make something.
Let maybe take a shortcut. I will give you the thing if you tell me how you reach for it and hurt yourself. A little bit, not much, just a little bit.
Chester's overcome with nostalgia that he completely forgot he had. Looks at Ash and then covers his hand with the sweater that he wears and darts his hand in there. And when he pulls out the toy, the thorns rip through his sweater, cause a tear, and cause a scratch on his skin. And enough, because of how skin is and bleeds, that a bit of blood wells up and a drop falls to the ground within the hedge.
Ash just looks at you. Why did you? I was ready to.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's done now. It's okay. It's okay. Nothing is going to happen to you. We're all here together. We're all. Look, Leander is. I don't know. Are you flapping around as about to pick us up? Leander's coming. So we'll be all together again. We'll be fine. Let's not dwell on. Let's not think about. Nah, you've got the toy. It's nice that you care about these things. That
Sentimental things have power. I couldn't stand to think of the hedge having something that had both my essence and yours. And just kind of dazed, he puts the toy in his pocket, but make sure it's like wedged down really, really, really deep in his pocket.
You take 1 point of lethal damage, so please have a look at your character sheet, how many health boxes you do have, and just note 1 X down for one of them is now filled up. I don't think that the character sheet can do this right now. But you found something of great importance, some lost memory, and that is a well of knowledge and emotions and might come in handy. You would need to focus for a moment on it to research it into your consciousness. And as you pointed out correctly, and you made some way closer to the clearing, which you perfectly pinpoint down, Leander comes and picks the both of you up and transports you for the last bit of the way and just carries you. In the meantime, oh, beautiful. In the meantime, Red is alone with Lisa for a second, and she's like, "You're very fast. Best race ever."
Glad you thought so.
Yeah, this was really good.
Red
You
very
know-
quickly flips the hood back up.
I probably should tell you something, she says as she climbs onto her throne. So, in the first moment, I wanted to make this a whole, surprise with all the different people coming back together and joining each other. And then there would be, I don't know, some arguments and happy feelings about reuniting, and then you would have to make a deal and everything. But now, under the prospect of making peace, and I have the feeling that this might be very important to peace, I should probably tell you that that one of the persons we are awaiting is a little bit on the interesting side of things, and I kind of feel bad right now.
Who did you invite?
Oh, I wasn't inviting them. They were like, "Hey, you can have a lot of fun," and I will partake as well, and it would be so fun. Oh yeah, they implied it would be really fun to see you fighting. Oh, this is not really PC, right?
No, not at all. No.
Oh, scrubbers! Oh no, I'm so sorry. One shouldn't do this to their friends, right? Yeah.
Right.
So, would you be very angry at me if I was telling you that there would be a huntsman here in a second?
So Red goes white. And immediately just goes, no, look over there, and points off in the distance.
And Lisa actually turns around, and while she's turning, and she babbles on. He brings one of your friends.
So Red was about to use her seeming blessing, but then hears that. I say, what?
What's there? No, that's not the right direction. Actually, that's not from where he's coming from. It's more like, oh, I think you can feel it. Can't you feel it? It's like very, here, and I think as Leander is about to land and putting down Ash and Chester next to the throne, and everybody is together and happy, you feel that the air starts to fill with electricity. It's the hairs on the back of your neck are starting standing up, and it's like before a thunderstorm. You can literally feel it in the fingertips. Yeah, I think it comes from over there.
Who comes from over there?
What's going on? Why do you look so ill, Red? You don't look well. What's happening?
Huntsman.
What?
And Leander is immediately immediately going to start turning and looking around for anything that looks like a huntsman. And you see Leander shift more. The scorpion tail goes up into alert, claws, a more lion kind of features in his face, and he starts looking around trying to see for anything.
No, Leander, no. That's not what you want to do. Can you not just pick all three of us up and get us out of here? We don't want to be fighting. We want to be leaving.
The huntsman has one of our friends.
The huntsman has one of our friends.
Which friend?
Ambrose, Penny. And then Leander's going to turn to Lisa and go, "We won your dumb game. Which one of our friends does the huntsman have?" And he's going to like try to look in Lisa's eyes and go, "Tell me." And he's going to try to intimidate the information out of Lisa, even though she is a Goblin Queen. And I would like to use Overpowering Dread, please.
Wonderful stuff.
So Overpowering Dread is while staring at the target and destroying something to intimidate them. If successful, target gains the frightened condition. I am not going to stand in the shadows and take the target by surprise because the target is not surprised by me, but I am going to grab something off of her candy throne like real quick, and it could be like a candy apple or something like that, and just like crush it or just like take a chunk out of her throne to do that.
Ooh.
And that is a manipulation plus subterfuge plus weird versus wits plus weird.
I think you're at the advantage here.
3. And I'm technically staring down, so would that be utilizing my specialization and intimidation?
Sure.
Okie dokie. So that's 3, 6, 9. That's 9 dice. So fingers crossed.
Rolling this, I think this has also kicked in my curse. So we can talk about this. My seeming curse is once per scene, I lose 1 willpower when an unpleasant surprise takes me off guard. And I think being dropped into the middle of somewhere where a hunter is about to attack us counts as an unpleasant surprise.
Yeah, probably.
So I'll take 1 point of willpower off.
Yeah.
So I did get 2 successes, but I also did get 2 1s. So I believe those 2 cancel each other out, correct?
No, they don't. There's no
okay.
canceling out. There's just 2 plain successes.
Okay.
Why are you? And you can see her starting to panic. There's so much about a beast being intimidating. Probably still with the outspread wings and the crushed piece of the throne, and she has the body of a 9-year-old girl. She's standing in front of you and like thinking, maybe did something a little bit wrong, but you're all my friends and we have this goal that we are gonna make peace. And then there's Leander, and she's like, the dumb looking one, the one who betrayed you?
Ambrose. He just says, like, just Ambrose.
Yeah. There was something that happened with Ambrose, why he isn't a member of your motley anymore. Something he got thrown out of your freehold for, as he tried to sell you to a pack of huntsmen before. And then all the leaves in the hedge, the grass you're standing upon, shivers. And it's like everything's getting electrified, just trying to spread out from each other. And the shadow comes from beneath the trees. There's a falcon which sends out a cry through the hedge, entering the clearing, circling above you for a moment, and then landing on one of the poles of the candy throne. And then he appears, a hulking figure. He's wearing an executioner's mask over his head, a hood, rough leather clothing. He is wearing the panoply, the signature weapons, a huge axe made to cut off the heads of culprits, and as well a net. It is barbed and further strengthened by some metal threads. From his eyes and from his mouth drip lightning bolts dripping to the ground, and the air crackles around him. And he pulls somebody on a chain behind him into the clearing. What do you do?
This hasn't turned into combat just yet.
No, it hasn't.
If you'll allow it, I would like to use my contract of the Royal Court, setting myself up as the leader of a meeting to ensure no violence breaks out. It prompts a clash of wills if anyone's under supernatural influence to fight, and it cannot stop violence once it starts.
Is this all right with everybody?
Yeah.
Leander has learned better in his time for when he has brutally murdered somebody that betrayed his friends before. That maybe, because that's the reason why he got exiled, that maybe letting the diplomat handle things beforehand is the better option. So he acquiesces just for a bit, but you see he is itching for a fight.
Ash doesn't say anything, just kind of stands back, stares at the things on the chain, mutters something about traitors, and takes out 2 bottles of water, unscrews the caps, and her hands maybe go a little bit frosty, but nothing happens just yet.
Wonderful.
So,
sorry.
I was just going to tell you the cost and loophole. The cost is 3 glamour plus 1 willpower, and the loophole is to stand and make a speech at least 5 minutes long.
So, the last
Timer's ready.
The last 2 attendees are entering the scene, and they come close. How do you welcome them to this peaceful meeting?
Greetings, mighty huntsman. Had I been aware of your attendance at this meeting, I would have prepared much better. I would have provided foods for you to partake. But alas, our goblin fruit greenhouse was destroyed, and I cannot provide such delicacies. I see that you have an acquaintance of ours, Ambrose, I believe. Welcome. At this moment, there are no hard feelings for such a presence. However, I would like to indicate my dear family and friend Leander, who is quite formidable, as you'll notice, and Ash, as you can see, she is also prepared for any treachery. And our key to freedom and enjoyment of this mortal coil, Red, who showed us the way. Now, I'm sure that my reputation precedes me, as you know that I am Chester, and I shall be the arbiter of discussion at this moment. Would you care to say anything for yourselves, dear attendees? And Chester indicates to the huntsman and Ambrose, who have arrived on the scene.
Unusual greetings. I am surprised by your hospitality. Indeed.
Well, the Fae, as you know, are no stranger to being hospitable to guests.
I come to bargain.
I am surprised. I must say, I thought you were here to brutalize, but alas, I should not have assumed such, because it is clear, O huntsman, that you are wise in the ways of negotiation.
And I think that's the moment in which you do your dice roll. If you have to do any dice rolling for this one. I
If
think
that
yes.
counts as a 5-minute speech, then it is
Sure.
a loophole. Yes.
Sure it is.
Oh, that's right. Contested wills, though. If yeah, it prompts a clash of wills if anyone's under supernatural influence to fight.
Okay. Before that, no roll?
Nope. It is an instant action.
Wonderful. So everybody on this place notices that from this point on, this is a negotiation situation in which you have to really want to hurt somebody else and then overthrow Chester's will and to engage in violence. So, and at this point, the huntsman isn't engaging in any attempt to ruin your contract. So, everything all right at this point. Finally, he pulls on the chain and drags somebody into the view. And you see the lightly colored pelt of Ambrose who has a muddied face. You can see that there was some crying involved. And you can see from his clothes that he was probably dragged through some harder terrain without the huntsman waiting for him to get back on his feet, because he is a little
Poor puppy.
they don't curse. Bargaining chip. I brought someone, and I'm willing to bargain. You can have this one back.
He has broken the laws of the Fae. He has broken the laws of the Freehold. This one stands trial with both our world and your world. Is there a bargaining chip here, really? The laws are a little unclear on how this works, what with this side of the world not liking our side. But we would definitely want him back. Our freehold requires recompense for the crimes of this traitor.
Hey,
On that, oh, sorry.
please go on.
On that very vein of conversation that Ash has made, I dare say you may wish to pay us to take him.
Would you like the fairy courts involved in this? And can I just like spiel a load of random laws that relate to this that I've learnt, because I've got a lot of knowledge in fairy law that kind of point towards all of this.
Ooh, this is great. This is really great.
Obviously trying to talk here and just kind of distract Leander as well from just ripping somebody's head off.
Leander is just pacing in the background. You can just see like occasionally going back behind Chester and Ash's form and just like kicking leaves.
Is there like a little pathway worn now?
Yeah, it's being worn down.
Marching so hard a trot is forming.
Hey, it's really nice to see you guys. I think you got some stuff mixed up here right now. Yeah. You see, you can't talk like this. You know where he's going to take me. If
Evidence shows that you are the one who blew up our greenhouse. Leander has your scent. Leander has your fur.
Yeah, but you see, it's like I don't know where you got this from, and I'm just, hey, I was thinking like we could like I make up for our past mistakes and be like, social human people who don't do cruel fairy stuff.
We have laws in the Freehold. You don't just betray us and then want to come back. Where is Penny? What have you done with Penny? We don't know. We can't trust you. Leander, is there anything you want to say? And can I do something maybe to see if there's any lies or anything that
you can
Ambrose is saying? I've got empathy with a specialism in lies.
Yeah, that would be like extremely. We were rolling a lot of wits rolls, but it is wits plus empathy, and you can add another die for your specialization.
Not many dice, but.
As this is going on, Red's in the corner with a piece of the napkin from earlier trying to sketch Ambrose onto it.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah, I got no successes.
Yeah, it's really hard. He's blabbering so much, but maybe Leander has a shot at the thing. What are you going to say?
Leander turns as soon as he hears his name and kind of stomps over and goes, I'm quite interested in what the churl has to say about Penny or about the greenhouse. And instead of blathering on, perhaps he could tell us exactly what happened. Permitted the huntsman sees this sufficient. Unless what does the huntsman want? And he's like bearing fang, and he's got like eyes showing and they're glowing like that lion kind of glow. The scorpion tail is moving, it's swishing.
So the Elena, thank you that you're actually listening to me. So the thing is, I saw Penny this morning,
Mm-hmm.
and we were at the greenhouse, and well, there were like huntsmen, and they might have taken her, and I followed for a bit, and then I have no idea where she is right now, and I didn't know how to get him to talk to me, and so I might have overstepped some boundaries with the greenhouse.
I'd like to point out, dear Ambrose, that you have previously stated that you don't wish for any fairy treachery, yet you speak with the words of a fairy. Might? Did this happen or did it not?
It totally happened.
We have someone here who can corroborate your statement. You said that the hunters took Penny.
Yeah.
Hunter. Is this true?
I can share this insight with you if you're willing to seal a pact. I need something, and this is the only reason why you're having a civil conversation right now. And you're able to give this to me. In exchange, I will give you this blabbering sack of meat and any information you wish for.
Well, what is it that you wish from us? Maybe we can come to an arrangement.
My lord wishes for the attendance of one of his former servants, a person you know by the name Lady November, Queen of Autumn. She is to be returned.
We do not speak for Lady November. We cannot give her away to you without consultation with our freehold. We just came here looking for a friend.
You found your friend. You're missing another. I hold the key to at least one of them. I don't think you need any counseling with your freehold. I need you to make a pact now.
I will make you a promise if you will promise us.
What is your proposal?
If you promise to release Ambrose unharmed into our custody and provided information on Penny, okay. Yeah, okay. Provided information on Penny, I promise I will work. How can I say this? I will work with Lady November to bring her here. I promise you, and you promise me.
You see him thinking really hard about this. And in this
It's taken me a
time,
while how I can, yeah.
and I think you're a little bit on the advantage because as a German, I have as a storyteller, I have the problem that I might not comprehend every meaning of the word work at this point.
So what I'm trying to do here is, well, obviously, I'm trying to make the promise. There's a get out clause in it. I'll tell you what it is in a second. See if you want to work with it. But it's also we're negotiating and using politics, and I can my Kith blessing allows me to lower my exceptional success on that. So if you want me to make a roll,
We might going for a roll. I want to resolve a certain action of another Motley member before this, but please explain to me the loopy holes of your.
So the promise that I have said I would make is I said I would work with Lady November to bring them to this place. I have given no time and whether they're going to be present.
I see.
So I would bring Lady November there. Maybe in 50 years' time?
I see.
or 100 years' time? It has no, there's no debt thing to that. So there you go.
Wonderful. Okay.
It took me ages to work out in my head, how can I fit a loophole into this?
I think regarding of what's happening next, he might pick up on it or not, and we will go with a dice roll for that. So, but before that's happening,
Red's doing portents and visions. Finishes the sketch. Rip. And is seeking a past crime or transgression that Ambrose has committed just to solidify his guilt. Make sure, like, what has he done recently? Did he do something terrible to Penny? That type of thing.
Well, it is in the middle of the night. The sky is dark. And he sneaks into a certain greenhouse. He leaves the place. And soon afterwards, a small explosion tears down the silence of a night. Penny, pretty Penny, constable of Summer Court, notices something is wrong as she is patrolling the streets. She is shocked, out of her mind about the harm that was brought to her and her family. And she goes in, investigating. She is a careful person. This hit her in such a vulnerable place that she is not as aware of her surroundings as she usually is. A short burst of light invoked some occult magic by Ambrose blinds her. And then he gives her something to drink, pressing the liquid down her throat, and then she falters into his arms. He carries the dazed Penny away. And you return to the present.
So, in the midst of the negotiations between Ash and the huntsman, Red goes over and whispers, Ambrose kidnapped Penny. Sort of show the picture that's been torn in half to kind of show, like, I did magic. This is how I know it.
Who to? Sorry.
I like Liana's reaction to this. Just look at this face. What's going to happen?
And just as a side note, Ambrose now has the guilty condition, if that were to come up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right.
As deep down, Ambrose knows that something's up here. I know that he knows.
Shit, yeah. Love fey magic. Leander is going to ball his fists up and is going to look over at Ash and Chester.
We have no quarrel with the huntsman. Ambrose, on
I
the
know
other
if you
hand.
shake a bottle of water towards Leander.
Is that the Fey equivalent of bad kitty? Like what?
Leander looks like he's about to pounce on Ambrose, and he shakes his head, and he goes, "It is no surprise that I have no love for Lady November. And it is no surprise that I have no love for this sniveling whelp." And he looks at Ambrose, and he goes, "Lucky for you, I am no longer a member of the Autumn Court. I am no longer a member of anything. So if I was to do anything against you, it would be my head." And he looks at the huntsman and he goes, "That being the case, if anything was to happen to me, it would not put my motley mates in danger. So I am your man. I will bring you Lady November in exchange for information and for this sack of useless meat."
And by this, you see the huntsman pulling once again on the chain, grabbing Ambrose by the neck and pushing him into your direction. Deal.
And Leander grabs Ambrose and he lifts him up and he looks at him and he goes, "If I had it my way, you'd be ripped to shreds, but we need you." And then he grabs him by the head and he just kind of like shoves him towards Chester and Ash.
Chester looks at Ambrose with utter disdain and then looks back to Leander. After we find Penny, I will turn my head.
I too, as much as I know other people would enjoy it, I know your pain. You can have some fun. I just won't watch. All the blood is it's a bit much.
We have a deal, Huntsman.
And I think he is going to implement the time. And since Ash was working so hard on this, probably giving you some time to breathe, because it would be a very bad day for the Autumn Queen to disappear in the middle of peace talks, you know. I will give this last action to you. How do you want to try to turn this around? To give you maybe a little bit more time as you feel that the word is wrapping around your words.
We have a deal, but just be aware, as Leander has said himself, he does not speak for the Autumn Court. So, I too, as you have been so generous and given us Ambrose, I too will go and speak to the Queen, Lady November, and try to bring her to you. We are much obliged to you for your generosity and kindness.
And the huntsman nods at Ash, then pierces Leander with his eyes and says, "You need to deliver." And then with a cry, the falcon takes off from the throne. The huntsman turns around and leaves. Lisa is sitting on the throne and just biting her fingernails. This was so exciting. So much. I don't know. Did you have so much fun as I did? Man, this was so intense.
Hell no, that was not fun. I take one of my bottles of water and just throw it at Leander. Ah! Damn you!
Chester will turn around to Lisa and oh, actually, I quite enjoyed that. It was an exercise in wits, intelligence, and oration. And he winks at her. You know, that huntsman wasn't so bad, just a little terrifying on the eyes and constitution.
I could have taken him.
Oh, I have no doubts. However, I am very proud of you, Leander. I was impressed.
I've been working on breathing exercises. They work sometimes.
Yep. And Chester's kind of at a lack for words.
They take out a tissue and kind of offer it to Leander as a mild gesture of sorry for throwing a bottle of water over you.
He takes it. He just puts it in his pocket for a rainy day. Good job,
And I think as Leander puts the handkerchief, towel, whatever, into his pockets, we see like some shiny glimmers around that as portents and visions manifest one last time. And we see four friends reuniting with a badly messed up Penny. Under which circumstances, I don't know. Maybe my players don't know. Maybe this is a story for another time. In the end, this can be your story as well, and you can experience it with the Changeling the Lost 2nd Edition Jumpstarter. I hope you enjoyed this game of Changeling. It was a blast. It was very different to all the other times I ran this adventure. It has so much potential for all kind of solutions. And I think this was surprising in so many ways. I have to talk with people about this, but not on the stream. So my lovely players, please pay me. My lovely players, please tell everybody once again who you are, where they might find you, and what's up with you. And I think we ended with Wes last time, so we will start with you now.
I will keep it short and simple. Hi, my name is Wes Franks. You can find me on Twitter at BrotherXWes or Carrying Comfort Studios, the Twitch stream that I run. You can find it here on Twitch. And you can find us on Twitter at Comfort Carrion. Tonight we have the finale to our Kingdom Hearts: The Interstitial War game, where we run through Game Master Nick Francia of Gehenna Gaming has run through a wonderful tale in the world and universe of Kingdom Hearts. So you can find the finale tonight. But if you want to catch up before seeing that finale, you can find all of our stuff on YouTube. Just look in Carrying Comfort Studios, and you'll find all of our streams, everything like that. Tomorrow night, we have a game of Heart, The City Beneath, Descend to Drum Beats, run by your big dad, yours, mine, and our big dad, Ben Walker, who is going to be running our players through the second episode of that. You can catch that every other Saturday. Sunday, we're going to be playing a couple games on stream. It might be Dead by Daylight. I might be playing through this game called Chasing Static. They had a demo out, and it looks really fun. And then we have a bunch of other stuff coming up next week. We have the finale of our Mage, Cypress and Steel Victorian Age game. We've got a bunch of other stuff coming up. Also, if you love Marvel and you love role-playing games, we are going to be running a 3 to 6 session streamed game on Fridays once Kingdom Hearts Interstitial War is over, run by Brian LeBurge, who ran Gehenna Valley, Monster Hearts 2 for Gehenna Gaming. We have applications on our Twitter, and we have applications on our Discord. They're pinned on both. We are looking for players. We're looking through different applications now. So if the Marvel Heroic role-play system is your bag, if you like the Fantastic Four, because the story is going to be involved in that a little bit, or if you want to try your hand at streaming, go ahead and check that out. And that's all for me. I'm going to stop talking now and let these other lovely people promote themselves.
Hey.
Hi, I'm Lovely People, and I'm promoting myself. Hello, I am Kisama. You can find me on Twitter at TrueKisama. You can find me on Vorpal Tales sometimes, especially Saturday. And you can find me on a Vampire the Requiem chronicle called Dust by Dawn on YouTube. Go check it out. It's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, sorry, Ever.
Hey everybody, I have really enjoyed playing Chester. It has been a blast. I apologize for my dog getting excited by the mailman in the background. Brynjar. You can find me all over the internet as Changeling Ever, and playing on Vorpal Tales tonight for the Jumpstart of Geist. Yes, so excited. Yeah. I'll be playing a non-binary character named Ariel, and I am all about that. And this has been an incredible game. I will forever be addicted to Changeling the Lost.
And David.
Hi, everyone. This has been my first game of Changeling the Lost. I've been wanting to play it for years, and oh my god, this was insane. Great introduction to it, thank you. But yeah, so I am David. You can find me, again, all over the internet at the moment. I seem to be doing lots of stuff. I am on Darker Days Radio. I'm one of the guys there. I mainly do the Dark Hammer stuff. And in respect to that, I am running the Warhammer Fantasy RPG Enemy Within campaign over on Gehenna Gaming every other Sunday. We've had a bit of a break recently for various reasons, but hopefully next weekend we'll be back in again. We've got a new player joining us. I have also my own podcast called The Drunken Storyteller, where I do mostly folklore stuff. And I'm starting to do, hopefully in a couple of weeks, I'll be running my own stream of doing some Tales from the Loop, and Tom will be one of our players. And somebody from Vorpal Tales is hopefully joining us. So,
I'm very, very excited.
Made of Kimchi has said he's going to join us. So
Yeah, this is going.
Whether he remembers it or not, this will be a new thing. Suddenly you see it all come up, and he'll be like, "Ah, what?"
Yeah, I'm very excited to take part in this and any further gaming shenanigans we might cook up.
Shenanigans.
So, I'm just a bodiless voice telling fairy tales and folk horror stories, game stuff. I am sometimes here on Onyx Path Twitch stream, and sometimes I'm at other places like Gehenna Gaming and Carrying Comfort Studios, and I am looking to do all the fairy tales and all the folklore. I thank you very much once again to my lovely players, to the wonderful people in the chat who told about their experiences with the adventure so far. And I just have to say thank you. I hope we will meet again. And if just one of you might re-enter the hatch, my pact with the fairy is done. So have a wonderful night and see you again. Goodbye.